Hey guys, this morning we got breaking news of a murder of a high-profile CEO. And this story is getting national and international attention for a few different reasons. It's because of who's targeted, what company it was, and where it was. So I wanted to walk you through a little bit of this. The name of the victim is Brian Thompson. He's 50 years old. He's the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. UnitedHealthcare is the largest provider of private health insurance in America, and it's under the umbrella of the UnitedHealth Group, which by its revenue, by its size, by its earning power, is one of the largest companies in the United States. UnitedHealth Group, the big umbrella company, was holding its annual meeting today in midtown Manhattan. An annual investors meeting is sort of business as usual. It's something that you expect from public companies, big public companies that you can buy stock in, and it's a meeting that usually gives a state of affairs of the business. It is well publicized. People know it's going to happen because you're a public company, you're sharing this information. And it was early this morning before that meeting actually started that the CEO of UnitedHealthcare was arriving at the hotel where that meeting was being held. The New York Police Department says that there was a man who's been described as light-skinned. Some reports suggest that he's wearing a mask. We're getting a variety of different reports as the investigation starts to develop, who was apparently waiting on the sidewalk and let several people walk by him before he sees Brian Thompson and then shoots and kills him. Brian Thompson was shot just around 6:40 a.m. and he was declared deceased before 7:30. So you could see how quickly this story happened. Now, the police say that the shooter then fled, and I want to show you the location of this crime and why that's significant. So here's a map of Midtown Manhattan. Where this crime was committed is right around 54th Street and the Avenue of the Americas, which is 6th Avenue. It's a very, very busy street. It leads you right into Central Park or right down into Bryant Park near Times Square. It's right near Rockefeller Center. If you see the iconic Radio City music sign, that's right on the Avenue of the Americas. You might have seen that during the Thanksgiving Day parade. But this is a very, very busy area for New Yorkers and tourists alike. The Hilton Hotel, which is right here on about 54th Street, is very busy. It takes up almost the entire block. So it's massive, and there's a lot going on around there. What police say is that the shooting happened on the street around 54th Street, and then the shooter flees. He goes towards 6th Avenue, towards the Avenue of the Americas, and at some point picks up an e-bike and zooms right into Central Park and then disappears. The reason why this location is important to me as a former New Yorker, always New Yorker, is it really speaks to the brazen nature of this crime. The fact that you would try to commit the crime here shows that there was some real motivation to do so. It's not like some dark alley somewhere where you're going to be able to hide. You know there's going to be cameras, there's going to be police, there's going to be witnesses, and if there's any of that anywhere in Manhattan, it's right at this location. Now, the timing of this is also important. Yes, it was the annual investor meeting for UnitedHealth Group, but also there's something happening tonight in New York City that is also raising the antenna of law enforcement. Right here, you can see Rockefeller Center. And what's happening tonight at Rockefeller Center? It is the lighting of the iconic Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, where you have thousands of people packed into this area, this small square in the middle of Manhattan to watch this tree be lit, which, by the way, is a tradition that dates back to the 1930s. But security starts getting tight in Midtown even a day before this happens. You start seeing the barriers being put up. There's a lot of extra security because it is such a high-profile event, and there's always a concern about bad actors of all sorts that are trying to target a large group of people. So in the press conference today held by the New York Police Department on this separate crime that happened just a few blocks away, there was repeated assurances to the public that they're going to make sure that they have all the resources needed to keep this event safe and also to hunt down this suspect. In the meantime, we're learning a little bit more about Brian Thompson, 50 years old, married with 2 children. His wife, in an early interview today with NBC, mentioned that there had been some threats, but it was very non-specific. The big question in this case, as there is in so many developing stories, is why? Why was this person targeted, and what was the motivation? And of course, the other question is, who did it? And where is this guy? Where has he gone? Does anyone know where he is? The New York Police Department is offering $10,000 in reward money for any leads that get them closer to finding out anything about him. What I'm really curious about is that there are some good cameras on the streets in Manhattan. But being that the suspect fled into Central Park, I'm very curious about what other cameras could have caught him and what that looks like trying to go through that footage. So a lot of questions remain. This is a developing story, but I wanted to explain a little bit about why it's getting the attention. Again, it's the size of this company, how significant it is to the US economy, and by proxy, the global economy. It's who was targeted, how he was targeted, where he was targeted. There's lots of parts of this story that are resonating on many different levels. So I'll keep you posted as we hear more, but I hope this is helpful, just kind of explaining or giving you a foundation about what's going on and why it matters.